happens when you have this sensitizing pattern of experience, what happens is you move off of this curve to this curve. And so at baseline, these individuals, they start out already in this low level or even high level of arm state. And for a relatively minor stressor, like do your homework or a test, they can get way down into this completely dysregulated state. And so what will happen is if you've got somebody who's tuned up like that, and you're an adult, whether a foster parent, a parent, anybody interacting with this child, these kids are going to come into your classroom or some interaction with you, and this is where they start. Now the idea would be you want them to get more regulated. You want them to come down here. But all too often what happens is because people are contagious, I talked about this, right? When the parent or the adult will give some verbal directive to the child to either comply, right? It's something like sit down, open your book, clear the dishes, make your bed, brush your teeth. And how many times have you ever, when somebody asks you to do something, does it ever regulate you? I mean, think about it. Like, I can think of all the regulating interactions my wife has told me. Did you do the garbage? Oh, that's so regulating. Oh, thank you. Of course not, it's dysregulating. And now it doesn't have to be big dysregulating, but you remember that these kids are sensitized, right? So when I feel a little bit of frustration that, yes, I'll remember to take the garbage out, I just get a little tweak. But if I had a sensitized stress response, I would tell them, fuck yourself. Which I don't ever do. I don't. But that's the kind of response that would be elicited by somebody saying, remember to take the garbage out. And of course, when somebody says that to a foster parent who wants compliance, or to a teacher who's got a behavioral plan, oh, when you swear at me, I have to take 2 points away from whatever. And of course, when you take 2 points away from your behavioral plan, you might lose your level. Is that regulating? No, it's dysregulating. And so the intention of these points and level systems to get kids to regulate is absurd. Points and level systems are incapable of providing regulation. Points and level systems only work if you have a regulated person with a functioning cortex. Points and level systems will predictably set up the teacher or the parent who's supposed to be giving the points and levels to end up in a negative interaction with the child, which very often can end up in critical incidents and respects. And I don't know how many of you use them, but they're used so pervasively in schools and in other settings, even though there's not a shred of data that they work. In fact, the data that exists suggests that they make things worse. Points and level systems have gotten more kids in the juvenile justice system than armed robbery. And I'm not kidding you. There are far fewer kids in the juvenile justice system now in this state that got there from armed robbery than got there from violating a points and level thing and then having a teacher try to get them to comply and then ending up with the teacher losing their temper and continuing to escalate the child into either a flee response or if, oh no, you can't leave this classroom, hands-on fight response. And then they charge the kid with assault, even though the teacher went across the space and touched the child first. If this happened out on the street, guess who'd be charged with assault? The teacher, not the kid.